how do you know that this is a new area is fit for my expansion? I mean, what homework do you do before you go and say that, this is the new area that I'm going to tap? What sort of data that you analyze in terms of which people live in the community, what's the price point that they can offer, afford?
Yeah.
And whether the taste is palatable by them, in the products that you serve.
Right. So we are in touch with all of the mall managers basically in the UAE, and they come to us with locations that become available. And whenever such a location become available, we analyze the entire area. What kind of nationality mix is there? Who are the people? Who are your customers? What's the price point of other restaurants that are in and around? So our price point has been very standard from the last 5 years. We've not increased our pricing. We might be a bit expensive for Karama, but for all the other mall locations, we are, I think, the most cheapest restaurant. So for City Center Al Zahia, if we have our maximum dishes, I think 52 dirhams, nothing more than that, main course. Other restaurants are selling the same thing at 70-80 dirhams. So we want to be a brand that is mass premium. We want our customers to come back to us maybe 3-4 times a month. We don't want you to, use this as a celebratory sort of a moment ki, okay, aaj meri anniversary hai, so I will go to Bhukkad Cafe. It's not like that. It should be a regular hangout place. And that is what the pricing also defines, the vibe also defines. And when everything falls into place, we find a location that has good footfall, there's a good nationality mix, pricing is also fine, then we go ahead and say okay for that location.
This is all what you do, yeah?
Yes.
So as a franchisor, it's our responsibility to sort of guide the franchisee to a correct location. All right. Now, once we got our foot in the door for a mall location, now we have access to the entire network of malls, different leasing managers. We're already in touch with them. So one of the main factors where it's a make or break in F&B is, the rent. All right. Now, rents.
That's a significant amount of the cost.
Yes. It's going to be one of your biggest, sunk costs that you're going to have while operating the restaurant. And when you have, guidance from a franchisor, we get a decent idea as to what sort of leasing rates are going on in malls. So we know what are the rents for, say, a 2,000 square feet area, or what's a rent for a corner unit that's right opposite the food court. So we speak to the leasing managers. We're in constant touch with them. We get a fair idea of what sort of rent will the franchisee be, incurring, what they would be bearing when they operate. The second most important thing is to sort of do an analysis of the F&B providers in and around to get a fair estimate of what revenue can be achieved from that particular location. And then, once you have the rent, you have a fair idea of the revenue, then we plug in our other costs, such as you have standard costs of deva, electricity, gas. Those are typical costs. Our food cost on paper, if you do simple average of all the items on our menu, is roughly 16.67% to be precise. But when it comes to operations in actual, we have to account for a certain amount of wastage, certain amount of human error. So it probably goes up around to 18 and maximum 20%, including packaging. That's the sort of food cost that we cap at. And all of these numbers are plugged into, our franchise financial assumptions module. And the franchisee gets a fair idea as to what sort of EBITDA or what sort of PAT they have to, take home at the end of each year. And we do like a 5-year analysis for them. And that sort of gets us to a, fair understanding as to what the payback period is. So the first step is the sort of investment that they're going to be putting in, and what sort of time it's going to take to sort of recover that investment out of that particular operation.
So what's the average payback period for a growing new area in the
So purely depends on the size of the location. So it can't be standardized, but we target anywhere between 18 to 24 months is what we are targeting. The smaller the outlet, the lesser the investment, but then you plug in the revenue that you can achieve from that. So that's the reason we've sort of started launching our express module, where we are sort of, franchising in an express format where the outlets are relatively small and the investment per franchisee goes down to say roughly 800,000 dirhams. Whereas the other outlets that are our flagship locations are roughly anywhere between 1 million to 2 million.
And the food is cooked in central kitchen?
So currently we do all cooking locally in each of the facilities because our customers demand fresh food, and we aren't a McDonald's, or our operations aren't the size of a McDonald's where we mass produce things and deliver it to
Because it's casual
each
dining
locations.
restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
but when it comes to the express locations, we intend to produce certain
yes.
goods centrally so that the flavors and quality is, optimized and standardized. And regarding locations, one more point is we need to look at it from a future perspective. So, for example, I don't know if you've seen our Festival Plaza outlet. That is a new IKEA mall. We have a ground floor location. It's our first location with Shisha, and we have exclusivity of Shisha also there.
Wow.
And when we launched, the outlet wasn't performing as well. But now all the villas in and around that area has started to get handed over. So the footfall has dramatically increased for that location. So we also need to look at things from a futuristic perspective. So now if a mall in the Expo City Center, for example, they come to us and say that, okay, this is a mall here that we are opening. You have a location here. I know for a fact that for the first couple of years, we might not, hit our targets. But from year third, we are going to actually be very happy for that decision, because we will have that location where the future population is going to live.